Indiana health official says 18-year-old White's not expected to survive the night. White's battle with AIDS took him as far as Washington to testify before Congress. White's a hemophiliac, got AIDS from an infected blood product, and got national attention fighting intolerant school administrators. Tonight, he is in intensive care.
He's presently in our intensive care unit on ventilatory support and being very closely monitored. He is in critical condition. He is heavily sedated, and we feel that he is experiencing no discomfort. Ryan's family has asked that no additional details of his illness are released at this time.
White's family is at his bedside.
Alameda County health officials are telling everyone between the ages of 15 months and 33 years to get a measles vaccination. They're trying to stop what has become a measles epidemic. Alameda County had just 3 cases of measles in 1988, but this year there have already been 206 cases and more reported every day. The vaccination can stop the sometimes actually fatal disease.
Shots are going to be absolutely free of charge. There will be no sliding fee scale or any eligibility process. The idea is just come in and get your shots.
You can also get a free vaccine in Santa Clara County if you have been exposed to measles, And in San Francisco, the vaccination is free if you can't afford to pay.
One of San Francisco's most opulent restaurant goes on the auction block this week, a sign of how restaurant business has been in decline in the Bay Area since the earthquake. Belva Davis now joins us with more.
Well, Evan, since the October quake, many of the city's top-of-the-line restaurants have fallen on bad times. Nob Hill's L'Etoile is closed, Trader Vic's no longer serves lunch, and now Maxwell Plum is being sold at auction. If it was opulence you wanted, Maxwell Plum's had it. If a spectacular view inspired you while dining, they had that too. The restaurant opened 10 years ago at a cost of $7 million. Just up the Embarcadero, the people at California Grill prided themselves on knowing what young Californians wanted in food and ambience. In spite of these pluses, both restaurants have folded, gone out of business. The closure is part of a decline in patronage of what's called white tablecloth restaurants. Some blame the decline on the earthquake, the closure of the Embarcadero freeway, and a shortage of tourists. Others say it's those reasons and more.
Got to put every single piece together. Tourism, a convention again, the commute, the high cost of doing business in the city, and this high cost has to be transferred to the consumer.
At the popular Waterfront Seafood House, owner Al Falke is alarmed over plans to tear down the Embarcadero freeway and face 5 years of new roadway construction. He said people from the East Bay have already stopped coming to the city.
I think the economy throughout the United States is soft, and therefore I think it's affecting the convention and the tourist business that normally would come to San Francisco. I don't think it's all just the result of the earthquake.
On Saturday, the fixtures from Maxwell's will be sold at auction, including 9 elaborate crystal chandeliers, some 100 years old, commissioned pieces of brass, even the ornate stained glass and carved plaster ceilings. 150 people lost their jobs when the restaurant closed, and incidentally, Evan, if you want a little opulence, on Saturday, the auction is open to the public. Butterfields is handling it, and you can just buy any old thing you want. Open your own restaurant.
Any estimate to that blue chandelier for my bathroom?
I think they said it cost about $70,000, but it is an auction.
Okay. Thanks, Belva.
At all grade levels. 64% of 4th graders could not identify Adolf Hitler. 66% of 8th graders didn't know what the Emancipation Proclamation was. Although the survey was taken at the height of the 1988 presidential campaign, 64% did not know that presidential candidates were nominated by national conventions. 50% did not know that the U.S. is a representative democracy. And more than half of 12th graders did not know that religious freedom is guaranteed by the Constitution.
Our own youngsters, who stand less than a year away from voting booths, have as a group a tenuous grasp of institutions and ideals that make freedom possible.
Experts found the results ironic in light of recent democratic advances in Eastern Europe and elsewhere.
Millions of people outside our borders possess a keener sense of the importance of these things than do our own sons and daughters.
98% of 12th graders did know that those accused have a right to a lawyer. But that may have more to do with what they see on television than what they learn in the classroom. Jean Meserve, ABC News, Washington.
Some other international news. The British Home Secretary told Parliament today that the rioting in the streets of London on Saturday was the work of troublemakers bent on violence. The trouble started